Hello. I didn't see you there. You've tuned in to another episode of What's Sewing On, the fantastic web series where I take pictures of people who I've stalked online and the cool things they've made and talk about them. Anyway, today we're going to be exploring the quilting community. Quilts are cool, and quilters are kind of insane. I've honestly never looked into quilting much. I tried once, but yeah, these guys are capable of doing something that I fully believe is magic. Simply Seifel on Tumblr is a quilt wizard. I fully believe it. They make quilts that look like fairy circles. They make quilts that can summon them. They make quilts that look like they've been Thanos snapped. In all seriousness, their work is incredible. I love this little mossy green circle. It just looks so happy. And look at how tiny these little patches are. So small. Apparently they're planning on making a whole rainbow of these, and I can't wait to see it. They've also made another quilt that makes me pop out serotonin like a broken gas pump. Look at this pretty yellow binding. It even has the recipient of the quilt's name hand embroidered into the binding. Incredible. Also hailing from Tumblr, Caitlin's Crafts has this patch that looks so cool. This little section right here is stitched together with the little teeny tiny scraps left over from other projects. I love seeing scraps survive the waistband in any way possible, but this right here, fantastic. You might be asking yourself, how did this person get all of these scraps? Well, they made 200 masks. So, they're basically the coolest person ever. They've also made paper because, and I quote, why not? I love finding other weirdos like me that just compulsively make things and do such a good job of doing it. Did we just become best friends? I think we just became best friends. This next one is more of a patchwork project than a proper quilt, but nonetheless, I really like the looks of it. I found this really cute patch in a diamond shape made by Mel Brooks on Instagram, and I couldn't help but wonder, what in the world does that go to? It just really pulled me in. And I was expecting it to be for like a quilt, or maybe, I don't know, a diamond-shaped bag, because really odd-shaped bags are super cool right now. Nope. This is the chest piece to a sweatshirt. Look how cool this is! Before I go on a total tangent, @Mel Brooks is doing a great job out here, and has sewn some really awesome things. Like this little bra here. Lingerie making is like god tier level seamstressry. Exquisite. I love the lace on it so much, and like that collar that she did, fantastic. Your 2020 of sewing, solid. So Mel, I hope you keep sewing on, and I'm really glad to see all these patterns that you picked out for the coming year, and I hope to see more from you, because you're doing great. This little diamond sweatshirt is by Miahgracesews. No clue if I'm pronouncing that right. Anyways, there are a mountain of variations on this pattern, including this little baby fox. I love when I see a pattern that's really specific and has like a very clear vision of what that garment is going to come out looking like, but then is still super versatile. Like this idea of the diamond chest piece, they could have just left it at that. They didn't have to do all of these different fractally designs that could, you know, allow for all these different variations. It's really cool. They also have sizing that goes from baby to babe, so good on you. Because pattern grading, let me tell you, it's not easy. Anyways, I'll link their pattern shop in the description box below because this is really cool. Another super fun quilt is this little checkerboard. It's a tiny quilt, and it's a checkerboard. And there's even like these little felt game pieces that go with it, and a little triangle bag to keep the game pieces in. Fantastic. This was apparently a holiday gift for her niece, and I am absolutely 100% sure that she was happy to receive it, because anybody would be. Look at it! @SewTalithaSew is the one who made it, and she is an avid quilter. She's also made this fantastic floor poof. That just looks cozy as crap. When I think of quilts, I just kind of instinctively think of family. I think it's a natural connection. The next two creators are mamas who made some lovely stuff for their children. Like this mama who made a literal coat of many colors for her daughter. Apparently, this is the first and last jacket she's ever made. I don't blame her, this looks incredibly fiddly, and it probably took forever. However, I think it was well worth the work, because it's gorgeous! Like, this shot from the back with the V going downward, oh, it's honestly just breathtaking. Her Instagram account only has like 5 images, and they're all quilts. And they're all fantastic, like, incredible. Cornrows, guys. They're corn, and they're on a rowing team, so they're cornrows. Apparently it's for the rowing team in Nebraska, and Nebraska's like really big on corn or something, but honestly, I want this hanging in my house. I just want people to come into my house and see this hanging on the wall and know exactly what they've walked into. This is exactly the kind of crafted chaotic energy that I want to cultivate in myself. Teach me your ways. This next one literally stopped me in my tracks. It's a whale quilt. Apparently, the story behind this is that this mother wanted to give her 2 oldest daughters the gift of giving for Christmas. So she had each of them pick one of their friends and design a quilt for them. The little quilts. Nothing crazy. One of the daughters wanted to make this whale quilt for one of her friends who's super into BTS, and apparently it's somehow a reference to that particular K-pop band. I'm not in the K-pop scene, so I have no clue what's going on here, beyond that this is a whale quilt, and it's fantastic. I'm sure she had a whale of a time making it. Oh, I'm so sorry. The other daughter requested this empathy wall hanging for her boyfriend, whose name is Flowers. And if those 2 facts don't tell you everything you need to know about this guy to totally reconstruct him in your head, I don't know how to help you. Honestly, I love this concept so much. When I have kids, I'm gonna have to do something similar because it just sounds like a lot of fun and a lot of work, but a lot of fun. She's also a full-fledged gallery featured artist. Anyway, feel free to go check her out at Personal Patchworks on Instagram. It's fantastic stuff. The next one is also from Tumblr. This jacket is called Min Duva, or My Dove, but in Swedish. And if that isn't the most magical thing, I don't know what is. She says that every fabric used has a meaning to her, and I can't help but wonder where she got them and what she thinks of when she sees them and feels them. Like, could this be baby clothes or the remnants of old uniforms from like a sports team she was involved in, or leftover costumes from a musical, although those probably shouldn't have gone home with her? I don't know. Maybe she found like an old scarf in the ocean and she took it and she cut up the patches to make something. I don't know. There's so many possibilities. I seriously have spent maybe a collective half hour just like staring at this gorgeous work of art. Wearable art. It almost reminds me of Rumpelstiltskin in some ways, or maybe like a magical old woman who lives in a bush and grants wishes, or just makes tea, which if your wish is for tea, then your wish is granted, and honestly that's probably what I would wish for. OP says that it has goblin vibes, but I don't think that does it justice. It's beautiful and borderline ethereal. This is incredible. Fantastic job. Please make more things, because I want to look at them. Side note, did you know that 8-bit quilts are a thing? Because 8-bit quilts are a thing. At Nerdy Threads Quilting did this amazing Pokemon one, and I love the background fabric that she used. This just looks like an opening screen that you could cuddle up in. I want to do that. I want to jump into Pokemon and cuddle with the opening screen. The fur mama of At Athena Hikes, the little boxer dog, has made a handful of 8-bit quilts as well, like this awesome one of Link from Legend of Zelda. And yes, I do know that his name is not Zelda. I'm educated. She also made another one of... Honestly, I can't tell what this one is because the cutest dog in the entire world is laying on it. So cute. I just love boxers and their little faces. They just look like they want to be friends. Because they do. The last one I'm going to show you is from Facebook. And it is absolutely incredible. So strap in. This woman named Emily is having an over-the-rainbow themed wedding. And she decided that she was going to, for the first time ever, make some dresses for her bridesmaids and, you know, for herself. She made her own wedding dress. I heavily altered my wedding dress and that was almost too much for me to handle emotionally. So anyone who does the whole shebang for the first time ever, I've got mad respect for. These dresses are not quilted, but they're pieced like a quilt, and that is mind-boggling amazing. I think the pattern is really figure flattering, and I think it really does justice to the silhouette. It's got that nice empire waist, so that like the smallest point of your waist is shown off, but it's still comfortable. And I always find that with empire waist, there's just an etherealness that comes with it. I love the way that the red one has a log cabin square in the bodice. I love the flecks of purple in the yellow one, and I am completely in love with the green one. Like, this woman looks like she's about to pop out of the woods and offer you magic tea. Thankfully for myself and all y'all, Emily finished her dress in time for me to slip the image into this video. And this is honestly just lovely. The way that the color is weaved in from the bottom going up, it gives it this real sense of movement. Like, it's blowing my mind. How did you make squares look that elegant and free-flowing? Like, I keep zooming in to look at all the little pieces, and I love it, and then I zoom out to look at the big picture of the garment, and I love it. Anyways, Emily, I hope your wedding day is half as fantastic as your dress, because that's just incredible. All of the creators who wanted to be named will be linked in the description box below. Thank you so much to all of the sewists who were featured today. You guys are awesome. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope that you keep sewing on yourself. Oh, to that point, I've linked a couple of resources in the description box below for beginner quilters. They look legit to me, but I've never really quilted before, so I can't personally recommend any real tutorials, and everyone who I do know who quilts learned in the 90s. Anyways, that's all I got. Bye, friends!
That's what multiple takes are for.
Right?
I'm sure if we saw all the takes that went into movies, we'd be like, why are you wasting so much time?
I love blooper reels for that reason. They're always so fun. Lynn's crap. Sorry. I don't know why, but I made eye contact with you and it cracked me up.